Ayo.
Heyo.
Hi.
Ayo is what we say when it's time to go with
We're
episode
fucking-
34.
We're back.
We are back.
It's been a
We are-
long time coming.
It has been a long time
It's been
coming.
a minute.
Almost a full month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm partially to blame for that.
Things kinda
But in the
went
meantime,
sideways.
let's get everybody caught up with who we're talking to. To my right, we got John Brown. Say hi, John.
Hi.
He's too old to be cool.
Try to be.
Yeah. Then over to my left, we got Reese. Say hello, Reese.
Hello.
He's the man that watched everything. And then we have me. I'm Dustin.
Say hi.
Am as hi everyone.
Hello.
I am as selfless as I am stubborn. So we always do a bit here when we start these episodes of the what have you been watching? And I have a feeling this one's going to go over because it's been a long time and we've probably all watched a lot of shit. So who wants to start this?
Honestly, I haven't watched. I have, but I mean,
You don't watch anything in the last month?
No, I have, but I mean,
I was sick as fuck and I watched a shit ton.
Yeah, there's been a few things. I've been doing a bunch of other crazy shit amongst my time. So, but I do have some things, a few things.
I've watched a lot.
You know what? I'm going to start because I never
it.
start with this.
Yeah.
I wanted to say, actually, I meant to
Switch
say
it
this
up.
like 2 episodes ago, and I completely forgot. We were talking about how the lead actor in God Bless America is a Murray, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, right after I watched that, I watched Club Paradise, the Robin Williams movie. And the villain, I was like, this guy looks familiar. I looked him up, and he was also a brother of
Son of a bitch.
a
Murray's
different brother?
everywhere.
A different brother?
a different brother of Murray.
Oh man, I've got the pick tonight, and like I had all these thoughts in my head, but now maybe we should just do like Stripes and Caddyshack.
I mean, I've been having that thought for a little while too. Like we've got no Bill Murray action in the podcast yet.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. It's probably gonna have to go a little longer.
Life Aquatic. I've only seen Life Aquatic once. I need to rewatch that.
So I got the COVID. It happened finally. I was like the last person on the planet to finally get COVID.
It's true. They came and gave
And
him a
so
plaque.
that's the reason that it's been so long since from episode 33 to 34. But my wife doesn't really like watching horror movies all that much. And so while I was like bedridden for like a week and a half, I decided to take it upon myself to catch up on some of the horror movies that I've missed. And so I got a handful here. I watched Talk to Me. This is like Australian film about these kids that like do a little seance with a severed embalmed hand, and
Yeah.
weird shit happens, and it's kind of satanic and kind of fun, and I don't know. I had a good time with this movie. Talk to
Yeah.
Me. Australian films always kind of hit this like I don't know. Like every time I'm watching one, I feel like I'm watching like a semi B movie.
Yeah.
Like they just
I
don't.
think they just don't take themselves too seriously. I
Yeah,
think is what it
maybe
is.
that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, Peter Jack. No, he's New Zealand. But I mean, it's kind of the same.
It is the same. I mean,
They
like,
just lean a little funnier in New Zealand.
yeah, New Zealand
Always
is
a little
Australia,
goofy.
but Australia is not always New Zealand.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, one of them.
So I saw that flick. It gets my seal of approval. I thought it was fun.
It's solid. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the better Australian films I've ever seen. Like I'm serious. Like I'm not meaning to shit on Australia, but like I remember seeing Romper Stomper back in the day, which was like Russell Crowe's big breakthrough in Australia, and like people said it's like American History X, and so like I watched the movie and like it is like American History X, but like American History X light, you know, because like you don't quite get the like the arrogance and the grit. Like American History X is a gritty ass movie.
Americans take themselves very seriously.
Oh, they do. Oh,
That's true.
Hey, I know this, man.
No
I know
one's
this.
cooler and more badass.
I was at the
than
bar
America.
before I came here, and the guy next to me was just like, "I used to like Steph Curry, but then he became a liberal."
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, "This fucking guy."
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of people that throw their friends away because they have slightly different beliefs than them. Like
Yeah.
that's probably not the way to go. Maybe get in an argument with that friend, punch him in the face, buy him a beer, apologize. Like that's a better way to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I watched Late Night with the Devil.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
This is a fun flick too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very fun.
It gets crazy too.
Yeah, it's I love the whole like the late night talk show, which honestly, homework assignment. there is a American Dad episode where like Stan gets addicted to this late night talk show that nobody else has ever heard of.
Right.
And it's like kind of like its own like little horror episode in of itself. It ends up turning into one of those like he goes inside the TV and becomes part of the show kind of a thing.
Wow.
Which has been done a million times, but totally got those vibes from this movie. And that American Dad episode is like one of the like I think it's one of the best half hours of like television I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I totally got the vibes from this movie. I
Good
didn't
vibes.
love the ending.
Yeah.
Like where it's just like I'm seeing visions, and so I start doing something violent to get this like horrible thing away from me, and it turns out he's just murdering somebody.
Yeah.
I thought
Had
that
some visual similarities to the ending of one of the movies we're going to talk about today, with the face cracking open and beaming light out from inside.
Yeah.
I will say we talked about this the other day. But at least like it did, like the ending played into. It wasn't just like random. It did play into the overall story of the film.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole thing where the girl was fated to be sacrificed anyhow. So at least it wasn't just randomly like, oh, now I'm accidentally killing you.
Yeah.
Because of these visions. Like it was all the demon.
I guess it was more
into that.
It wasn't as much the writing on that as more as it just was like predictable. Like you know, the predictability of it was kind of disappointing for me.
No, I think that's fair enough, but like I mean they kind of blatantly set up that ending from the get, you know, like so to me it's fair enough in that sense, just because they like, oh, we rescued this girl from a cult where they fucking murdered all these, like she was destined to be murdered, so it does at least set it up, and it is predictable as fuck, but they like kind of bold-faced like, hey, we're making your prediction for you. We're telling you the ending.
Yeah.
Like it's up to you if you want to hope for something else.
So you guys, when I was bedridden, you tried to reach out to me and like get the podcast back a little quicker, and like I couldn't do it.
Oh yeah, no,
but what I did do is I watched a movie that each of you have recommended that I watch.
Nice.
And I was a little underwhelmed by both of them. So sorry in advance. But I did think that they were all solid. They were both solid movies. They were just missing a little something for me.
Right.
So John, you recommended Drag Me to Hell.
Yeah.
I watched Drag Me to Hell. I was a little underwhelmed by Drag Me to Hell.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. So I like Drag Me to Hell a lot.
I think Drag Me to Hell is very fun.
I'm a huge Sam Raimi fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I enjoy it so much. It's exactly like, I just love that shtick.
I love Sam Raimi too.
Yeah.
I wasn't exactly getting Sam Raimi vibes though.
No?
Really?
How not?
Man, I wasn't. And I think part of it is I can't remember the actor. The actor that played like the bank teller's like love interest.
I don't remember.
Yeah, the guy, the pretty like
the dude that's like 50,
guy.
but he always plays like a 22-year-old.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. That guy just kind of rubs me the wrong way, and
sure. Yeah.
Like he just kind of annoys me, and
I mean,
so I think I was sick, and like watching this guy on film was just like.
Wait, was it Topher
me.
Grace?
No, it's not Topher Grace. It's
one of the other skinny white guys from the 2000s.
Yeah,
I know it's not important, but
I think it's the guy
Justin Long.
Is he in the like the Perks of Being a Wallflower? Is it that guy?
No,
he looks like
that's a younger actor.
Yeah, okay, a younger actor that he looks like that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, not my favorite Sam Raimi film. I didn't dislike it.
Yeah.
I just you and Jocko are like my go-tos for horror, and like Jocko was kind of like hated the movie, and you like loved the movie, and I was kind of like in the middle.
Right.
I thought it was okay. Like
it's been a while since I've watched it. I have watched it multiple times,
and that's what I wondered how long it had been since you watched it, because I was thinking maybe this just doesn't quite hold up.
I just watched it last year for the first time. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I've watched
it's very much in the same genre as like what we're going to talk about.
And
today.
also, I kind of like the whole Gypsy Curse angle for a horror film. It kind of reminds me of like Stephen King, like Thinner.
Yeah.
Like I read that book.
Sure.
And I don't know. For some reason, that just doesn't like appeal to me as much as some other horror.
No, I mean,
topics.
that's fair enough for sure. As far as though like not a Sam Raimi vibe, I definitely don't get that, just because there's so much over the top crazy nonsense that's happening, and like just wacky fucking camera angles and wacky scenarios. Like that's the bit that
over
feels
the
so
top,
Sam.
disgusting
Yeah,
scenarios.
exactly. Like the mauling of the gypsy in the back of the car. Like that's super fucking Sam Raimi. But no, it's fair enough though. I mean, I get it.
So Reese, I know you recommended to me After Sun.
Yeah.
And this is an A24 film. And their shit's like so good.
Yeah.
And this film was good. It was good, but like it just was missing something. Like it's kind of a drag, man. Like it's a depressing ass film.
Yeah.
And I don't even know why I'm depressed when I'm watching it. Like I laugh. Like something will happen and I'll laugh and then immediately be depressed. And like it just like
I just think it's a really interesting space that not really a lot of people have covered of like that realization when you're going through things that you realize or remember your parents going through, and then like it's just like seeing your parents like turn into actual humans like retrospectively.
I actually wrote a whole like little memo about this in my younger years about how like the older you get, the more you realize that people disappoint you.
Yeah.
Because like when you're younger, you hold people on a higher pedestal. Like you have some people in your life that like that person's the color white. Like that's the person that like I would like to be, you know. And then like you get older and you realize that person's kind of fucked up too.
Yeah.
You know, like they also have problems and they're not perfect, you know, like nobody's actually the color white, you know. And so from that aspect I kind of get it. And for the most part I think I enjoyed it. It's kind of a boring movie, and I don't mean that to sound like bad, because I actually kind of enjoy boring movies. But like I made the mistake of watching it with my wife. My wife did not give a fuck about this movie. Like she was like instantly just like, this is like mid.
Right.
You know, like there's nothing bad that's being shown, but like nothing's actually happening in the movie. You know, and
not
like,
engaging enough.
I think that's a fair criticism. For the most part, I think I liked it better than Drag Me to Hell.
Yeah.
Very different from
another recommendation when I was sick, my buddy Ryan, John, you know Ryan.
Yep. Mr. Workman's.
So Ryan Workman, he's like, "Hey, I heard you're sick." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sick." He's like, "You've been watching a lot of movies?" I'm like, "I've been trying, but like I usually fall asleep an hour into it and have to like pick it back up." And he's like, "Oh." He's like, "My recommendation is The Killing of a Sacred Deer."
Oh my God.
And like, so I was like up when he sent this text. And so like, I immediately just went and started watching The Killing of a Sacred Deer. Fuck you, Ryan Workman, like, for making a sick man watch The Killing of a Sacred Deer. I sent him a text right after. And I was like, what the fuck did I just watch?
That is my least favorite Yorgos Lanthimos movie.
You know what's funny? It's just Saltburn. It's literally just Saltburn. Like, it's like kind of the same movie exactly.
Yeah. Barry Keoghan just like, you know what? I want your rich life.
I'm a little older, but I can do the same role.
he's even weirder in Killing of a Sacred Deer.
So bizarre.
Fucking strange little man.
Oh,
I can't even tell how old he's supposed to be in that movie, because at times he feels like literally like a 15-year-old. Does he say how old he is?
Like, I think he does. I don't remember though. I'm
It's
horrible with children's
movie.
ages too.
I don't know. Maybe I need to rewatch it. Who knows? It's also an A24 movie.
You know what? It is an A24 movie. I like it way better than I like The Lobster.
Well, that's
like
just
the movie actually
like
goes somewhere.
opinion.
The Lobster didn't go anywhere. Like it doesn't. It goes in the backyard and then it goes to a diner.
I'll disagree.
Where else does it go?
You've
seen the movie.
Locations.
It goes in the backyard and it goes in a diner. Where else does it go?
Escalator at one point.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Got to get to the backyard some way.
Yeah.
It might be via escalator. So a few more here. I watched The Bike Riders, which super cool film.
Yeah, I look forward to watching that.
Yeah, it's a good time. A lot of different actors from a lot of different areas. You can tell they placed a priority on getting some actors that are into like bikes, you know.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
I know.
Authentic, you know.
Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead. He plays Daryl in The Walking Dead. He makes an appearance.
Oh, that's cool.
Looking like nothing like he looks like the most methed out biker of all. Like they give him like rotten teeth and like
crazy fucking hair.
Like
right?
he was on screen for like 30 minutes, and I was watching it with mom. I'm like, is that Norman Reedus? She's like, yeah. How do you not know that? I'm like, I guess I don't like study Norman Reedus's facial features as much as you do. I don't know.
Norman Methus.
Yeah, but
do they do a name drop of the movie in that? Do they ever go like, "That's who we are. We're the bike riders."
Like, I do feel like the word bike rider is probably in the movie, but like it's not over the top like that. So I read a bad review of the movie, and they said that the review said that this is Goodfellas if Goodfellas was about motorcycles and was bad. And I was just like, okay, and I'm taking that into context, and like so
does it start with, from as early as I can remember, I wanted to be a bike rider.
Yeah, and like that's exactly where my brain went. I'm like, is that true? And I don't think that's true, right? So like, my example would be the Johnny Depp film Blow. To me, Blow is Goodfellas if it was about like bringing cocaine into the United States and was bad. You know, like that's the exact same movie because it's literally Johnny Depp doing voiceovers, like, and then the exact same kind of thing playing out. Where there's no real voiceovers in this. Now I know that the voices are a hot topic because like the main chick has got one of those like you know, like
Boston,
like the Boston,
like
and it's like
Boston.
It's super heavy, and like at first it's like annoying because she's all you hear for the first part, and like so basically what this is it's based off of a book where a guy like documented a bunch of like early like biker gang. Like it was mostly, I think, a photographic book that he made. Like, but he took a bunch of photographs, and so like a lot of this is based around a dude doing interviews with people that were related to this biker gang, and like so a lot of it is told in like flashbacks. And the one dude's like chick is like one of the main interviewees, and so she's doing a lot of talking as like a narration. And her voice is super fucking annoying, but you get used to it. At first, I was like, I'm really annoyed by this chick's voice. But then, like, after a while, I was just like, it's just her voice.
And it's not like, it's like a real, like a, it's because the voice is annoying, right? Not because, like, oh, I hate this fucking Jody.
Yeah, no, she's not bad. She is not bad.
It's an annoying accent.
It's an annoying accent. Yeah. And, like, so, but then after a while, it's just like, you're just used to it, you know?
Yeah. Pick up you're starting to understand it a little better.
Yeah. I mean, you can understand her. It's just like, it just seems so over the top at first.
Right.
Yeah.
And then like, when you like, it seems like over the top narration, but then when you get to the parts where she's actually acting in like a scripted, like, part of the story, you just realize like that's just her voice in this movie, you know, like she's just got that voice, and so then you kind of let it go for the rest of it that she's got an annoying voice. And I think most of the people that would compare this to Goodfellas, it's that chick's voice because the female lead, what's her fucking
Goodfellas?
She's a fucking person too.
She's a human being.
She's a human being. But anyway, I also remember in Goodfellas being a little annoyed with her voice.
Lorraine Bracco?
Lorraine Bracco, yes, thank you. Like being very annoyed with her at the beginning of Goodfellas. So, I guess I get that similarity. But I don't know. It's just kind of a cool movie about like how. The idea of motorcycle gangs went from being a bunch of dudes who were motorcycle enthusiasts to an actual like street gang, and it basically documents how that change took place, and it does it in a really satisfying way.
Oh, cool.
So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
A few more. I saw Twisters. If you've seen Twister, you've basically seen Twisters. Move on.
Yeah.
Just multiply.
Yeah. There's more. Actually, this one might be a little more ridiculous because, like, in the first one, like, the whole thing was like, we got to get Dorothy up in this tornado because then we can document data better than we've ever been able to document data before.
Yeah.
And like in this new one, it's like, so we need to get this thing up in the tornado, and then we like blow it up, and basically it's got the shit that's in diapers. We're gonna absorb all the moisture from the tornado and destroy it. And so it's like, I don't know. I think the Dorothy thing actually had scientific accuracy, and we actually do that now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if throwing a bunch of diaper shit into a tornado is actually going to make it collapse.
That seems pretty
I think the whole scientific premise, there might be like
pretty loose.
an issue with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a meteorologist. Maybe it's an actual thing that they're working on, and I'll be wrong when Twisters with a Z comes out or whatever.
Twisters, but the E is a 3.
Twisters cubed. God.
Triplers. It's triplers.
So we went and saw
it's
Alien
pretty
Romulus,
sad.
and I think we've all seen Alien Romulus.
Yes.
So we can take some time now to talk about how we felt about Alien Romulus.
Yeah.
I thought it was fucking fantastic.
Yeah, as far as visuals and effects and like every technical aspect of the movie, I think it did not disappoint in the slightest. It was fantastic.
And even like the CGI on Rook was not bad. It was
it
was a little weird.
I
at
think
first,
it lent to the character in a good way.
Yeah.
I still like debate as to whether they should have used maybe just a different actor for a robot.
You
like
said that they were, with Rook's programming.
Yeah.
Now that was the only thing that seemed a little brazen about
Yeah.
it to me. Was going for that, but
By the way, you didn't like that Ash was in it? Is what you're saying?
No.
Just it's more the fact that they could have used any of they could have used Michael Fassbender. They could have used the actor from Aliens, that would still be mostly CGI because he's in his 80s. But they could have used one of the living robots, and I don't know. It starts to get a little exploitative when it feels like you put Ian McKellen in the movie because you knew it'd be good fan service.
McKellen,
not Ian McKellen, Ian Holmes.
Yeah, Ian Holmes.
Ian Holmes.
But
as far as the performance and the pulling it off, I thought it did look really good.
I would say that it kind of like
You're just saying it doesn't really make sense that he's alive to tell.
No, it does. It makes perfect sense. I mean, he's just a synthetic, so it conceptually tracks.
I'm talking about on a meta level, outside the movie.
All I was saying is
because I know it's not the same character.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine that Rook was there, and it makes sense as far as the film goes. It's just it was clearly CGI.
Yeah,
and it's okay because it looked good, and I think it got with her voice from the bike riders. I think at first, in the first scene when he's up and talking, it's but it very quickly just smooths out.
Yeah, you
really
get
fast.
used to it. You get used to it. Yeah.
So that was the only thing that I could even say is felt a little bold of their choices to me was to put him in there.
I'm going to be overwhelmingly
totally CGI.
I'm going to be overwhelmingly positive on my analysis of Alien Romulus. John, when you're I think the first one to see it, and you said it was fucking perfect. I don't know if I go that far, but it was really fucking good. And I was on the edge. I think I'm pretty sure it's the only Alien anything I've ever seen in the theater.
Yeah, same here.
Cool.
The only
And
one I've ever got to see
I was
in theater.
on the edge of my seat. So Molly went and saw it with my wife. I'm like, hey, I need to go see this movie. Will you go? And she's like, yeah, I'll go see it. And so she went and watched it, and she was like, that was intense.
Yeah.
That movie was intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I found out after we saw the movie, the only Alien movie she had ever seen was Resurrection.
Right.
Which Like, that's
so
like
weird.
That's like the worst one.
Yeah.
So we
I
immediately
actually like that one a lot, but
to be the only
arguably
alien
it
movie
is
you've
the
seen?
worst one. Quote,
to be the only one you've seen.
no,
is
that
a
is
weird.
weird.
That's
That's
So we
strange.
immediately watched. So
Did you have an ex-boyfriend make her watch her? Or something?
Something like that.
yeah.
So the next morning, I didn't have to work, and so I was flipping through trying to find a movie because I knew that neither of us had to work, and I found Predators, the Adrian Brody
Right.
Predators. I'm like, I've always heard this is like one of the better Predators outside of like the first one, so I want to watch this. So we watched it, and then right after we watched Alien, and then right after we watched Prey.
Oh, all in.
And
the
then
universe.
right after we watched Aliens. That's what
Yeah.
we did. That was our
Yeah.
day. So we just swap between
Solid-
Predators and
solid day.
Aliens.
Yeah.
And we got caught up. And so I basically, in a 24-hour period, got to see Alien, Aliens, and Romulus. And
It jives
man,
super well.
like Romulus,
Yeah.
like kind of grew some points after rewatching Alien and Aliens. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's like kind of. It is kind of perfect in a lot of ways.
No, it
I mean,
is,
it has
'cause
all the best parts of all.
I've always
Yeah.
considered, in my opinion, and that is what it is. But as far as sci-fi movies go, in a classic sense, I think Alien and Aliens have always been, in my mind, perfect sci-fi movies. Like
I feel
for what-
similar with
for what-
Prometheus.
yeah,
I think
for what they
Prometheus,
are. Yeah,
regardless of the quality of the movie, it is a perfect sci-fi.
Yeah, I know. I dig Prometheus too. And honestly, I'm a huge I've been talking about it since I've seen Romulus, but I just fucking love all of the original Alien movies. I like Alien. I'm sure I talked about it on the podcast not that long ago, but I just rewatched Alien 3, and I remember that being the one I liked the least. And after the rewatch Alien 3, I'm just like, this is still really fucking good. The only bad thing there was bad CGI, and even
Yeah.
Resurrection, I still thought was really good. But
I think it's the one where Sigourney Weaver is the sexiest because she, like buzz cut Sigourney Weaver is the sexiest Sigourney
Right.
Weaver.
Yeah, that's pretty hot.
Like
But
her
I think the one
natural
where
hair
she's-
is a little too.
Yeah, the sexiest
There.
is the first, second, third, and fourth one tied. She's perfect
it was
in all of
Sigourney
Well,
Weaver.
the end of
So-
the first one when she gets into her underwear for like no reason,
Yeah.
like that's
I mean,
that's
you want
that's
to be comfortable in cryo sleep.
that's
man.
Yeah,
pretty-
they,
Come
they
on.
start the movie getting
you
out
know-
in their underwear.
you know
and
what's
then
fucked
people
up?
say, "Oh,
She
you
wanted
took
to be
your underwear
completely
for a reason."
nude in that scene.
Yeah.
Like it was Ridley Scott's idea for the underwear, and she basically had a little conversation with him, like, I think I should be completely nude because like this alien has basically been attacking us the entire movie in its birthday suit, and I think that this is like we're kind of on the same level.
Right.
And she thought artistically it made more sense for her to be completely nude.
Yeah.
And Ridley Scott was like, "Nah, we'll just do your underwear."
I fucking
Yeah.
hate Ridley Scott.
Fuck Ridley
so
Scott,
much.
right?
You son of a
God
bitch.
damn it.
No, I
And that would
definitely
be
think,
such an awesome argument to throw in anyone's
Yeah.
face. Like, it's so gratuitous. She gets naked at the end. It's like, well, actually.
yeah, the alien is naked the entire time.
It
No,
was Sigourney Weaver's idea.
Yeah. No, I think it's Romulus just hit the aesthetic was matched perfectly. It felt very much like the sequel to Blade Runner in that sense that they maintained
Yeah.
the aesthetic of the original films.
Oh,
They
so
went out their
good.
way to maintain that aesthetic to make it make sense.
I
and
felt
since-
claustrophobic watching it in the theater.
Yeah, oh,
like
yeah.
I was on the edge of my seat.
No, the
and
last
like
30,
it was
20 minutes
tense
of
and
that movie are just like, holy fuck, like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, is it ever
No,
going to end?
When they
Yeah.
first start entering I think it's the new spaceship, and they
Yeah.
get into like a crawl space, like, no, fuck, what are you
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
doing? Leave,
Yeah, for
give
sure.
up.
yeah.
bitch, get out of there.
Yeah. No, it was a wonderful film. It had a lot of homages from all the other films. It definitely, and I love too that it's smack dab in between Alien and Aliens, and I thought that was just super fucking cool. And I think that the whole setup of like, yeah, they immediately found the alien, they assumed it was dead. Like, well, you guys are fucking stupid. Did you not like check the like the logs and shit? Like clearly this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Giving it too much credit, like, no, it'll be fine. It's got to be dead. Like, this thing that survived everything that survived and did what it did, and like just to assume. But no, it's.
Oh
a
my
fucking-
god, the whole opening with them like retrieving the like fossil or whatever from
Right.
the ship and opening it up, and everyone's in suits, and you don't see any faces.
Right.
And then like the title card comes up. It's like, okay, I feel like I should leave now because it's like a 20 out of 10 already.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. No, the
Oh my
overall
God, that
production
intro's
value
awesome.
is just fantastic. One thing I was excited for, knowing it was Fede Alvarez, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fucking gross.
Yeah.
And it was fucking gross, and like the most intense facehugger action you've ever seen in any Alien, because they couldn't do the facehuggers that well in the past. And so like getting
No,
modern
well,
technology
and like in
really,
the last two,
yeah.
this is the first one.
I do want to say one of the things Molly pointed out watching the '79 original was that like for it being a '79 film,
it's badass.
fucking clean.
No,
Oh, yeah,
dude,
like
it's badass.
Well, because
It's
you guys,
clean.
I mean, you probably watched the 4K restoration. where
Yeah.
that's,
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
we
it
did.
Looks
yeah.
And the 20th Century Fox like logo, like the dun dun dun,
Yeah.
and it's like it's like grainy and awful. And Molly like looks at me like, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, trust me,
No, for
this
sure.
movie holds up.
When
and
you
like,
watch it, it is fucking
and
perfect.
we get like
It
30
really
minutes
is.
into it, and she's like, actually, the special effects in this are like fucking
Yeah,
fantastic.
and
Yeah.
it's
Like, for the
78,
time.
man.
Yeah.
It's
It is,
fucking
it is.
so good.
all of that physical sets and
Yeah,
environments.
no, for
and-
sure, dude. It's
Oh
so
my
cool.
God.
And the biggest surprise rewatching, I don't think I've ever watched like Alien and then Aliens in the same day like that. And like I always in my mind thought that like Alien, I always thought Alien was the best by like a mile. And like, you know, man, Aliens is like, it's got a lot of cool things going for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Above Alien. And,
So
and
the
like,
thing is,
that,
like-
that gap is a lot closer than
Oh no,
I
it is
thought.
very much so. They just change direction.
It's
It
just-
goes from
yeah.
Ridley
It's a
Scott
little
to
bit-
James
It's
Cameron.
a very
It's a
different.
little bit
goes-
more of an action film than a horror
no,
film.
it's a
Yeah.
very classic
Uh,
classic
the-
sci-fi shoot 'em up. I love it.
The one thing I love is I'm like rewatching the scene at the end with like the mech suit, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, this is like, dude, like made Avatar. I didn't even notice. He just went back to his
Yeah.
old tube. It's the
Yeah.
same fucking mech suit that they
Yeah.
use in Avatar. You know, like-
No, yeah, it is. It's classic. But what's cool is they made that fucking mech suit back then. And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
fucking functioning
my
back
God,
then. It wasn't
so
CGI then. That
that's
motherfucker
true.
worked.
Yeah.
That was somebody that was an actual fucking mech suit. That's the thing I love about Aliens is always like my favorite reference for like how it made so much more sense for a movie to cost $1 million like back then as opposed to now when everything's a green screen, because you look at the set of
Yeah.
Alien and even like, okay, a lot of it's, models and shit. Still, like the high was
it
not
looks
it's
incredible.
fucking awesome. Yeah,
I couldn't,
it's
know,
a big
like,
it's a big shift from Alien. They went like it's two ends of the same spectrum.
Yeah.
But no, they're both just great fucking movies as far
Yeah.
as sci-fi goes. And Romulus just delivered like a motherfucker for the franchise. And yeah. No, and from like comparing the two franchises, and this is the thing I've been talking about so much recently after gushing about Romulus and gushing about Aliens because I'm such a fucking Alien fanboy, is man, they did Aliens so much better over the years than Predator.
oh my God, yeah.
So-
it just like blows it out.
But,
of
I mean,
the
the
water.
best Predator movie is like on par with the most mediocre Alien movie.
Yeah.
No, and after finally completing the franchise, because I hadn't seen Predators and I hadn't seen Prey, so I've seen those. I think there's one called like The Predator,
That
Yes.
one's
which
that
I have
one's
not seen
terrible.
still.
that one's bad. Don't
That's the newest
so-
one besides
Yeah.
Prey.
I have an
Yeah.
issue with Prey. Prey's kind of got like I think Prey is technically the best Predator movie, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as filmmaking goes, I think so.
Now the problem is it could have been so much better. Like
Yeah.
one, they should have shot the movie in a native language and they failed to do that.
Yeah, that's a huge
Which
fucking upset.
it's a bunch of Native Americans speaking like flawless English, so that
same-
doesn't
And
really
it's
work.
also so, I get it. A lot of, Gladiator, we can name off hundreds of movies that do this where it's,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be, like Gandhi, right? They're all
Right.
Indian and they all speak English with
Perfect
British
English,
accents
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And then it just really breaks even that, like, whatever, like mode
Yeah.
you're in. Like, okay, I accept that this, and then they run into people who speak French.
and they're speaking
they,
French.
they speak
yeah.
No,
French. It's like,
and
what?
the thing
what
is,
the fuck?
and the
Yeah.
thing is, there's like I think the main chick has like at least one like native like line.
Yeah, like a mantra or
So
something.
if you get it once, then what the fuck are
yeah,
you doing?
well,
Yeah.
It's just like it just seems really half-assed,
Yeah.
and that part was really annoying. But like I think as an actual, if you take that aside, as an actual film, I think it's the best Predator movie. Like
yeah,
Yeah.
it's the best. I totally agree that it's the best film. I still like Predators just because it captures more of the
Yeah.
of the idea of the Predator, and I
That's the Adrian Brody one, right?
Yeah, and we talked about it off mic, man. The whole like introduction halfway through of the Lawrence Fishburne character, and like the movie just started to like separate a little bit from me.
No,
at
that's
that point. Like
good,
up to that point, I was like really,
yeah, that's
it was
a
really
good
intense,
summation,
and I was
yeah.
really intrigued, and then like it kind of just started to go south at that point.
No, that was a jarring thing in the movie, and that's always been my biggest criticism of that. Is like, one, it just wasn't necessary. Having that like survivalist character, it didn't make sense. Two, it didn't do anything for the actual story because it is just a departure. It's just like, oh, we're gonna go over here, and then he's like, he tries to fuck him over. Then they just go back to the main storyline and just fighting the predators. And so
I also kind of hate like because it's such a trope to have like the scene in a horror movie where it's like, let's get all the survivors together and have them have a conversation about exactly what they're up against and what they know and what the weaknesses are.
Right.
And it's like they had that conversation, which that's the trope, and then like then they meet him and it's like, we're gonna have the conversation again because you all don't know shit, you know. No, and it's just like, okay, so we're just like really beating this.
Yeah,
dead
no,
horse
I
here.
really agree with you that was awful, and I've hated that part. And I'm not a huge Lawrence Fishburne fan in general, but man, I fucking hated him in that movie.
Yeah,
it really did piss me off because it was just a distraction. It was a little foray into something that didn't matter, didn't mean anything, and did just take away from the film altogether.
I recall the effects.
I totally agree.
The effects and like CGI and stuff being like pretty decent.
Yeah, no,
right?
the effects are good. Yeah,
I know it's all like pretty small scale stuff. It's mostly like environments and then like guys in costumes. But sometimes that stuff just looks good.
To me, I dig it because it harkened into some of the books that I've read of the Predator franchise, and so it's nice to see them use those things in film. And I dig that a lot, but yeah, they shouldn't have fucked with the extra incidental little side quest of Lawrence Fishburne. They should have focused on the rest. They wasted a good 20 minutes. Yeah, for sure.
So that's what I've been watching. Before I pass it off to one of you, I just want to go back. I think I should have spent a little more time on The Killing of a Sacred Deer. That's Yorgos Lanthimos, most well known for Poor Things, which is a great movie. He's done his shit's really fucking weird.
Yeah.
I think this is actually my second favorite film of his after watching it. So
what else have you seen besides The Lobster? Besides these two and The Lobster, what else have you seen of his? Is that it?
I think I've seen one more. It's not coming.
Oh, did you see The Favorite?
I have not seen The Favorite.
You should watch that one. It's great. It's
like
his
kind
least
of a period,
weird one.
A period piece.
Yeah,
kinda, right?
It's like a queen and her.
I think I've seen 4 of his films, but I did. The Killing of a Sacred Deer was like, it's a really good film.
I'm glad you liked it. I was like, I didn't. It kind of floated over me the first time. I'd probably have to go back and give it another shot.
That dude, like the Keegan, like that dude's a fucking weirdo, man.
He is. Yeah.
Like, can he just play a normal guy?
No, I don't
just
think
so
he
I know
can.
that he's not this guy all the time.
Because have you seen The Green Knight?
Yeah,
he's a weirdo in that too.
He is. He's a weirdo in everything. Like even the like the Banshees of Inisherin, he's like kind of a weirdo, you know, like
he's gonna play the Joker.
He's gonna play the Joker.
Yeah, in The Batman, the Robert Pattinson one.
Oh my god, that's gonna be so disturbing.
He's got a cameo in the first one, like for like half a scene. You see like his lower mouth.
I still haven't seen that film. 3 hours is a lot for a superhero movie.
It's good, man.
I like it, but
it's good. I do like it. The only thing I have to say about that
watch
movie
that
is I
this
felt
week.
like Robert Pattinson was underused in the writing of the film.
Yeah.
Like especially
after watching The Lighthouse, like I was all of a sudden
I
want to see this movie.
That's what I was saying. Like I just watched The Lighthouse. I'm like, fuck, this guy's really fucking good. And then I watched The Batman, and like the writing just didn't give him much of a chance.
Just grunt a lot.
Shine too much, and that's the only bummer I had about it.
If you want some Robert Pattinson suggestions, let me know.
Come on, Robert. Let's a little more breathy. We're gonna do it one more time. We just need to be really breathy.
It is a solid movie, though. I thought he was a good Batman. I still think they should probably just stop fucking remaking Batmans over and over again.
But they're not going to. So like, at least if they do it, hopefully
need to make
they'll
fucking
be
Batman 2099.
Batman Beyond.
Batman Beyond, yeah.
Oh, I would fucking
Spider-Man
love.
2099.
Oh man, I thought I had an idea for the casting of Batman Beyond. And I always wanted them to do a Batman Beyond movie with Clint Eastwood as Bruce Wayne.
Right. That'd be fucking
Maybe not
dope.
anymore. You know,
Yeah,
he's
Yeah,
like,
it's a little too
he's
old.
like, he's
99
a little
years
rough
old.
now. Yeah, it ain't gonna happen.
That would have been cool in the
15 years ago.
70s.
yeah, 20 years ago, that would have been pretty sick. But yeah, that just seems like such a no-brainer. They could make such a badass
Oh yeah.
live action
No, and
Batman
it
Beyond movie.
has not been touched. It hasn't been touched. There's a fucking.
I just want to hear
lot of stuff
Batman say
use.
punk.
Yeah. So I guess I can. There's been a couple things that I've watched that I could talk about. I'll go next. First thing, I guess. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this has been out since the last episode, but I did watch the first season of the Snowpiercer TV show.
Ooh.
Only the first season because I don't have the service that it's currently running on, which I feel like it's AMC, but I'm not sure. It was actually, I didn't know what to expect. I enjoyed it. It's pretty fucking solid.
I think it's FX. Is it?
FX?
I don't know.
It feels
Who
like
knows?
either of those, but
Yeah, it's one of those.
yeah, no, it was kind of a cool thing to see, just to explore the train more.
Yeah.
Because in the film, you just get, yeah, it's a revolution, and then it resolves. And, like, this actually gives you an opportunity to see the train and see the politics in the train and understand more of the complexities of operating the train. Because in the film, it's just like, the train just goes, and it just goes, and that's what it does. And there's...
Just gets a little more behind the like politics and stuff.
Well, the
but-
politics and also just the maintenance of the fucking train. I mean,
Yeah.
like, it makes more sense that it's... I mean, there will be difficulties. Like, even though this thing's fucking super badass technology, like, for a thing to run for so long and in these conditions, like, there would be a lot of shit going on. So that was kind of cool to see. And
Yeah.
also...
Besides being like adapted from the same thing, is it actually connected to the movie?
No.
No.
It's
like
a retelling of the
retelling.
same... It's a retelling of the concept.
That's
it's not
cool.
even
I like that.
necessarily a retelling of the story. It's a retelling of the concept.
Yeah.
So the main character before the freeze was a cop, and there end up being killings.
Is this Jennifer Connelly?
No.
I know Jennifer Connelly's in it. And,
Jennifer
like,
Connelly is the one running the train.
Okay.
And so,
So they made it woke. Okay, I'm out.
no, she's fantastic. She's super fantastic. in it.
She is fantastic.
So at first she's introduced as just
Yeah.
the voice of the train, and then you
I got a
realize
thing for that one.
that she's running the train while being the voice of the train, which is also a concept I really appreciated, because like it doesn't, for this complex thing and dealing with this complex scenario and these complex people, to just be like, I'm gonna fucking sit up here and hunker down in my engine room and not have really anything to do with anything other than doling out orders. Like if I was in that situation, I'd want to be through a part of the train. So I like that concept. The main character, the cop, you know, he gets pulled up because there's murders happening at the head of the train, and so they use this cop to help solve these murders, promising him, you know, being moved forward in the train. All the while, he's still actively trying to sow seeds of the revolution, and like that also makes a lot more sense to set up a revolution, to use that opportunity, because like, and they do say in the show that it's happened. They kind of...
It's also kind of hedging too, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it. Like he's kind of hedging. Like he's,
Right.
you know, like try to advance myself in the
For
hierarchy
sure.
of the train,
For sure.
but also
Well,
I got
and
my hands in this
so
revolution too.
It made the revolution make way more sense, because they do acknowledge in this series that it's happened a bunch of times. They've tried and tried. So like the reveal at the end of the film, like it's known here. Like there's been revolutions and they've failed multiple times. So him actually getting to get ahead lets him much more efficiently set up a successful revolution.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of elements that I just really dug, and more exploration of the train. Like all in all, the first season I thought was super good. Maybe a grittier guy to play the lead is the only thing I could think. Like somebody that's just a little...
I just remember John Hurt is in the Snowpiercer movie. I feel like I have to watch that again now.
Yeah.
He's also in Alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's also in Spaceballs.
They,
Replaying the
I got to
iconic
see
scene.
Alien in theaters. I think I want to say 4 years ago.
Oh, yeah?
because they re-released it, and they actually
damn.
re-released it this year too for the anniversary, and for the new one coming out.
God,
I
damn,
didn't
that'd
get to
be
see
so
it this
fucking
time,
Cool.
but
Dude, the cast of the first two movies is
Oh,
kind of incredible.
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Harry Dean Stanton in the first one.
Yeah.
So yeah, back on Alien. We just don't do
hard
this all
not
day.
to talk about Alien.
So Snowpiercer, super cool.
Yeah.
They did a thing at the end of the first season that kind of irritated me, just like incidentally bringing on more drama when they're already like resolving. I mean, there's still an ass ton of drama to resolve from all the characters from the first season. The end of the first season, they just like, here's more drama, and so I'm kind of that might annoy me going on, but I'll let you know as I watch it. All in all,
I'm gonna get into that.
Snowpiercer's
I
pretty
enjoyed the
solid.
film enough.
Yeah, I think that you really dig the
I
extra
don't actually
angles.
love the main actor from the film. So
Yeah, and this is like I said,
he's one of the Marvel guys.
Yeah, I
and-
wanted.
Chris,
I'd like to see Hemsworth.
Hemsworth, is it?
No.
No, Chris
Evans.
Evans,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now my thing about like the main character of the show being more like gritty. Same thing for that one. Like, should probably be a little bit more.
A
Gritty.
little
like
less
him.
metrosexual.
In interesting projects, I like him. It's the generic stuff. He's not very interesting.
No,
But,
I liked him in Snowpiercer.
Even in
the
like
film as
Knives
well.
Out, I like him in Knives Out.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good Captain America.
Right. So moving on from there, I had gotten, in an effort to try to secure a way to watch the new Toxic Avenger, I picked up the Troma streaming service.
Which
It's
I
not
also
on there.
just saw. They have their own streaming
Yeah,
service.
it's not on there. So when I first got it, I was scrolling through, like, just looking at the just fucking nonsense that's on there. Some of it I'm familiar with. Some of it I've seen a lot on Shudder. It's not all just Troma stuff. So
Interesting.
some of the stuff transferred over there to there, but a bunch of Troma stuff, of course. Newer Troma stuff, of course. But scrolling through, I came across fucking a 1980 something Archie movie. It was about the gang from Archie coming back to Riverdale in their mid-30s, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Wait, live
this
action?
Yeah. Like, what is this
it
doing on
called?
here?
What's it called?
Just, fuck, I can't remember now. I feel like it's just Archie. Maybe it's Riverdale, something to do with Riverdale. But yeah, it just blew me away that this is just
So weird.
randomly on Troma of all fucking places. Like, I feel like maybe Lloyd Kaufman or the other dude had a credit in some part of the, like, maybe helped produce it or something. And maybe that's the connection. But
Archie to Rivendell and back again.
yeah.
Riverdale, not
Right.
Rivendell.
Rivendell would be a fun crossover. Archie, Lord of the Rings.
So weird. It's from 1990.
1990, okay. Now, all in all, it was a pretty fucking fun. It was a fun movie for what it was. I'm not super familiar with the Archie comics or anything, but it was all right.
Weird.
The other thing that I watched on Troma, well, I did watch the fourth Toxic Avenger, and so I thought that Poltergeist was the most degenerate thing I've ever seen. And I've watched Toxic Avenger 4 in the past. Tried to watch it the other night with the family, and like I will say, hands down, the fourth Toxic Avenger is the most gratuitous dirtbag thing you could ever watch. I can't imagine there's anything more lowbrow than this movie. I mean, in every single way, shape, and form, it's just the most.
Did the family enjoy it?
It was too much. It was too much, and I'm a family of too much, and it was too much.
Was it too much for you, John Brown?
Close. It about bridged that gap.
And then you finished it later, I see.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I've seen it before. But yeah, it's just like, goddamn. Although, okay, I don't know if anybody's South Park fans out there. So,
Yeah.
Jimmy,
Yeah.
the handicap character.
Yeah.
So there's a character in this movie that is like, he's a handicapped dude. The opening scene is a school shooting in like a handicapped school.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's a lot. But there's this one handicapped character that's like has a jacket that says like retard rebel, and like it's fucking it sounds exactly like Jimmy. I feel like Matt and Trey like just took it from this, like the whole like identity of the character. So that was kind of fun. But
The person on the what's this porn star's name? Ron
oh,
Jeremy.
Ron Jeremy. Yeah, Ron Jeremy's in a bunch of Troma stuff. Yep. Yeah, he
literally on the background image.
reinvigorated his career in Troma. But anywho, so the other thing I watched, which was a little bit more fun, was a super low budget, super dorky, super fucking yucky, sticky comedy horror was Decampitation.
Decampitation.
Sounds exactly like what you think it would be, but just a lot of fun, honestly. Like super silly, nothing made any sense really, but it's like this gang of teenage kids wants to go camping, of course. And the intro is this girl running through the woods from this killer that's wearing like a fishing suit, like a fishing get-up with like a big net hat, you know. But this chick's running from this dude. And this dude, the whole movie, the killer, the entire movie skips through the woods for no reason. The entire time he's skipping. But so this chick's running and she like runs into a bear trap. She's like, cuts her leg off. Or her foot off. Keeps running. Hits another bear trap. Fuck. Cuts her other foot off. Keeps running. Another bear trap. Cuts her fucking hand off. It's that kind of a thing.
She's got her hand in a bear trap?
Yeah. It was just so much. It was honestly super fun. All the characters way over the top, but delivered the way over the top really well. Like once they're camping, they get separated, and the one black guy goes off on his own, and ends up getting kind of captured by this random like transvestite in the woods. And not quite. But then it goes back to the other guys, and they end up camping. And the first person to get taken out doesn't actually get taken out. This guy goes to piss, and the killer like randomly runs up and slits his throat. So he like goes back into his tent and is just spraying blood all over his girlfriend. And then they just duct tape the fuck out of his neck. And then the rest of the movie, he's just running around with fucking a duct tape neck and can't speak. So there's a running bit of like him writing shit out, but nobody ever understands it, you know. No, it was super fucking entertaining.
Was this also on Troma?
Yeah, it was on Troma, and it was...
So they have exactly what you'd expect.
Exactly, other than Archie. Other than Archie. But yeah, no, it was fun. So
wait, what the Archie thing, though, it's super depressing, right? Like they're all... like
no, dude, no, it is wholesome as fuck.
Oh, I think I guess
now,
I've never heard of this.
By the end of it, because so Archie has a fiance, and Betty has a boyfriend. But yeah,
Veronica has a girlfriend.
No, she's just rich. But so this the whole thing. They're just trying to get at Archie, and like at the very end of it, like the boyfriend and the fiance leave, and it's just like they're still like vying for Archie, and Archie just kind of like fucking. They have this scene where they all just take a shot together in the little ice cream parlor, and just all like, fuck it, I guess we're just here, like let's just do this, you know.
Yeah.
But so after that, we watched both Child's Play movies. We watched the original Child's Play from the 80s, because I wanted to compare and contrast them for the family. Original Child's Play, way better than I remember, honestly.
Yeah.
It has some pretty dumb shit in it, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
super dumb shit in it, but honestly, still pretty okay. Like, it was all right. Chucky, way better animatronics, and like they did way better with him than I remember them doing for back then. So definitely pretty cool. The rest of the original franchise from that point on is whatever. I'd like to watch the sequel, but I know
I liked the sequel.
After the third one, I feel like it. Well, maybe the third one's okay. Somewhere after the third
one's like the military school one, right? Like,
or is that the second one?
No, the second one's like a foster home.
I'm pretty sure the third one's a military school.
Yeah, the military, and that I feel like that one fell off pretty hard. But
I am planning on watching more of the Chucky movies this year.
Yeah. They get fucking.
And I am like fully expecting it to like not necessarily be good, and turn into like very much. I mean, it's called like Bride of Chucky.
Yeah. No,
that one's bad, dude, because it's
Jennifer Tilly.
And she's
from
like,
then on.
You want to talk about annoying voices? Hers does not grow throughout the film.
The worst one I've seen was one that Chuck, they had a kid.
Yeah.
And it was like
Seed of Chucky.
Seed of Chucky. That one was that one was bad. But
Cult
there's been a couple newer ones that were actually okay.
Yeah.
But so, they are what they are. Child's Play original one is a lot better than I remember. But
isn't it wild that there's now a Chucky multiverse?
Yeah,
because the remake and then the new TV show is connected to the old movies, right?
Yeah, it's the same dude. It's like the TV show is kind of a cool concept because it actually does explore the character, which has always been my biggest criticism.
I kind of like the so like the dude who was the actor who like put himself into the body of a doll at the beginning of the film is the voice for like
almost all of it.
For the rest of the universe. Like,
other
he
than
got to make his
reboot.
one appearance, and like I have seen him in other '80s movies.
Right.
Like he did a bit here and there.
Yeah.
I think he was always kind of like a B level actor.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
But
For
like
sure.
he was never bad.
No.
Like, and I always thought that was cool.
Yeah.
That like he just got to voice that
No,
character forever.
I really
getting
liked
that
the.
short screen
I
appearance.
did really enjoy the first half of the Chucky series. It got too teen drama-y for me
Yeah.
halfway through, but it was a cool idea getting to explore his character, giving him something to do again. Like, I dug that.
I remember it being kind of like the Nightmare on Elm Street. Like you get to a certain point and like you're just like let's make it fun and they focus a little bit too much on the comedic bits. And
so
then,
this is the thing about the reboot. I've watched it twice, maybe 3 times now. I really fucking like the reboot.
I haven't seen the reboot. So.
I know a lot of people didn't like it.
I thought it was
it's
fine.
I think it's fucking fantastic. I think it's the coolest Chucky movie by a
the
mile.
the child actor someone recognizable?
Maybe. I'm not sure. But I mean, who is recognizable is fucking Mark Hamill voicing Chucky, which is super fun. I like what they did with it a lot more. I like the fact that you actually see his character develop in the movie. It's not just like, I'm a bad guy. Like, he actually grows and changes, and there's a lot of sincerity to the things that Chucky does in the movie. And they embrace the fun of it in a very fun way, kind of immediately. Like, there's a lot of comedy in the movie. It's not like too much hammy comedy, but it's present the entire movie, so that's kind of fun that they just go into it that way. Like I said, you get to see Chucky grow. They swap out Voodoo, which is fine because the Voodoo backstory and fucking Chucky is lazy as shit.
Yeah.
And they make him like basically a walking Alexa that's tied to the universe's Amazon company.
Yeah.
So Chucky can actually manipulate all of the technology that's tied to the company, you know, so he can actually like turn things on and off and do things with the technology. So it basically gives him like a degree of like powers. And I like that because it makes him a lot more threatening than just a tiny fucking guy with a knife. Because that's all he ever was before, was a tiny guy with a knife. And like the presentation of him just always fucking shit up, it gets kind of stupid because it's a tiny guy with a knife. So giving him more meat to what he's doing makes more sense. But super fun kills. Like one of the kills is he gets a fucking dude's face ripped off with a fucking tiller. But like all the stuff that he's doing through the early part of the film, like is for Andy. So like the guy whose face gets ripped off is Andy's mom's boyfriend who has another family. And so Andy's like fucking hates him because the guy's a dick. He's like, fuck you. I hate this guy. I wish he'd never come back around again. So Chucky's like, all right, cool.
I'll take care of that for
So
you.
he takes care of it. And then he dies in a watermelon patch. And like Andy wakes up the next morning and Chucky fucking stuck this dude's face on a watermelon with like a bow on it as a present for Andy. And like, that's fucking awesome, man. Like, that's so cool. No, I think it's dope. I think it's a really cool movie. I think it's the best Chucky movie in my opinion. Just best Chucky thing. There's a lot more going on in it. There's a lot better writing. I don't know. I think it's solid. So
of all the movies, you think the remake is the best?
I think so.
Yeah, that's cool.
For me, for my opinion, yeah, for sure. For
What
my
you
perception
enjoy.
of horror. Because it's just like I said, you actually get to see him like develop. You get to see him grow. You get to see a lot more angles to it. It's a good cast, super good cast. And I think Mark Hamill fucking kills it. There's just cooler things going on, you know. I don't know. Yeah. I really dig it. Yeah. So I think that was it for me.
Okay. I'm gonna have to narrow this down.
Do your thing, Reese. It's fine.
Okay.
We have 2 very short movies to talk about.
That's true. This had been on my watch list for a long time. Finally got a chance to put it on. Awakenings.
Oh, the Robin Williams and
Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
I was
heard about
kind of surprised going into it that it's like not a more talked about movie because I feel like most of like Robin Williams's like dramatic turns are like talked about. And
Right.
this one, I don't know. I thought his performance is like different than a lot of his other movies,
Right.
Yeah.
dramatic ones. Maybe even better than a lot of the ones we were talking about. And I feel like it's probably the like gray area line of Robert De Niro's performance of like the depicting a handicapped person. I think is now hasn't aged super well, but I think it's like a respectful performance, and he does really well. And again, I thought it was odd that I hadn't heard about it more for such an unusual perforce from Robert De Niro. Like, completely different than anything else he's done. But I liked it. I got together with my family for my birthday, and we watched a movie celebrating its 75th anniversary, The Third Man. I think this is literally only the second Orson Welles movie I've ever seen, besides the Muppet movie. But it's really good. I was a bit distracted just because of stuff going on, but I had a good time. The Orson Welles does not show up in this movie till like the last 40 minutes.
For his classic cameo.
Yeah. And it's like he's in all of the posters. Like he's top billing on the posters and everything. It's like this is kind of more of a twist that he's in it. You guys kind of just ruined it by putting him on, like plastering him all over stuff.
Well, he always did cameos in his films though, so like it was like.
I mean, he didn't direct this one. He was like almost like the villain of this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Let's see. I did watch. Speaking of Bill Murray, I did watch Meatballs, and I could definitely understand the charm of it, but I never went to camp as a kid, and I have
Meatballs 4 is better.
I thought it was pretty bad. I got to watch a newer Jackie Chan movie that I've been looking forward to called The Foreigner.
Okay.
Have you seen that one?
Mm-mm.
I thought it was really, really good. It was
I haven't watched a lot of Jackie Chan stuff, honestly. Just
this is like
the
a
bigger ones.
Completely. This one is like Rambo, but with like it's like Jason Bourne meets Rambo. He's borderline the villain of the movie. Jackie Chan is.
Oh yeah.
And he's like insane. I really enjoyed.
No, that's I would watch that. That's cool. Was it super slapsticky? Like
no. It's like a drama, like a thriller drama.
I'd watch that.
So there's no kung fu of any kind?
I'm sure there's kung fu. Probably not wacky.
It's hard to. It's the way he does his action in other movies with like non kung fu movies.
Right.
It doesn't come off as kung fu. It comes off as almost he really translates his action into like almost like improvisation. And
he started out
dodging
as a comedian.
And, defending.
No, that's
himself.
a super interesting though role for him to play. Like I want to watch that.
Yeah, you should look it up. The Foreigner, 2017.
The Foreigner.
I really liked it.
Write that shit down.
I watched Chained for Life, which is a really hard movie to describe, and I would highly recommend watching it, but highly recommend going in like completely blind if you can.
Okay.
You could watch a trailer because I think the trailer is like 90 seconds long, and it's an art house movie, so they're not going to show you the entire plot, and it might kind of get you in the right headspace for it. I think kind of Lynchian, not in like a incomprehensible way.
Right.
I really liked it. Fantastic performances. I watched Alien Romulus. I watched Cuckoo. I can't believe I haven't talked about this yet.
Yeah.
Cuckoo, the new horror movie. Before I got to see either of them, I kept getting this mixed up with Longlegs.
Right.
I think it's just because they're both like mid to low budget kind of studio horror movies coming up this summer.
Longlegs?
Yeah, I've seen them both now. I did prefer Cuckoo, but I can see why not everyone would.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything super riveting or great about Longlegs as of yet.
Yeah, it really blew up. I think it like broke box office records or something.
Got a lot of hype.
Yeah, I think it's
the way I understand it's more of a thriller than a horror, and it was kind of marketed more as a horror.
Yeah, because there is a little bit of supernatural elements to it, but it in a lot of ways almost feels like a remake of Silence of the Lambs and some of
Okay.
some of the settings and stuff.
Well, now you're making me want to watch it more.
I'm not saying you shouldn't watch it. I think you'd probably enjoy it. I
do want to watch it.
I was a little disappointed by the ending, but Cuckoo, I really got on the wavelength of what the movie was going to do, and I really liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun, and
Nice.
Hunter Schafer was fantastic, and Dan Stevens. He's been in like 4 movies this year, and he's probably the best part of all the movies he's been in.
What else is he?
He was in Godzilla X Kong, and he was in Abigail. Did you watch Abigail?
I haven't watched either of those.
Name sounds familiar. I feel like I've seen him.
The vampire movie, Abigail. Oh, Dan Stevens.
Yeah.
He's
I think I need a picture.
You've definitely seen him in something.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's hard to put your finger on it.
Right.
Yeah. Cuckoo, very fun. Recommend. I watched for the first time Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
Yeah.
That movie's so fucking fun.
I don't think I've ever seen anything with Elvira.
Oh my god,
actually.
it's so fun. Somebody pointed out it's like the same exact plot as like UHF or Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Kind of like very much those vibes. Like I kept looking up after this to see if Elvira and Weird Al had ever done a movie together because they have like such the identical same kind of humor.
Right.
But no, this movie is fucking awesome.
Right,
I highly recommend it. I did have a day last month, August 24th. I celebrated A24 Day. I had a bunch of friends over and we watched a bunch of A24 movies.
Nice.
So we watched, let's see, 4 of these were rewatches for me, and 2 of them I had never seen before. So we watched The Lighthouse.
Yeah.
Obviously, fantastic.
Fantastic.
We watched The Last Black Man in San Francisco. I thought was a fantastic, beautiful drama. We watched Problemista, which is a comedy that just came out this year. Julio Torres, you guys probably aren't familiar with him, but very, very funny movie. It's on HBO if you want to watch it. We watched 8th Grade, which I'd seen a bunch before, and if you haven't seen 8th Grade,
yeah,
incredible, love it. We watched Bodies, which I think actually surprisingly did hold up. I was worried it wouldn't hold up on rewatch because I felt like the first time I watched it, the ending really sold it to me, and I wanted to know if going into it again, already knowing how it ended would.
It's the horror thriller with the dude from SNL, the King of Staten
Pete
Island
Davidson.
guy. Yeah, Pete Davidson.
Yeah.
It's very funny. It's very like
I find him funny. Like, he's very.
Yeah, he's pretty enjoyable.
I think you guys would like this because like the characters are all very, like millennial Zoomers, like therapy talk, TikTokers and stuff, but not both in like a making fun of them, but not in like a mean way. But of course, they all get killed. It's a very fun movie.
Yeah,
he's very
satisfying.
He's a very genuine person.
Yeah.
Like when you see interviews and stuff, it's like the dude you play on film is the same guy that you are in your real life. It's like there's something I kind of respect about that. He's not like a Hollywood guy, and that's really cool.
Yeah, he does seem very likable, and probably annoying a lot, but likable. And then the last movie we watched, I rewatched I Saw the TV Glow, and I liked it even more this time. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Such a weird and unique movie, but highly recommend it. Okay, and that's caught up to August 24th. I've been watching all kinds of short films. I'm not gonna like name them off, but I have watched some very interesting ones. I watched a bunch by David Cronenberg. They were all very odd, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I finally got to see the other animated movie from the studio that made Watership Down, The Plague Dogs, also starring John Hurt. And it was like actually pretty different than I was expecting, but I really, really liked it.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
The animation was really cool, almost like it didn't have line work. I felt like a lot, so it was definitely rotoscoped, like a lot of it was drawn over photography.
Yeah,
and it almost looked like CGI at times, but it's from like 1982, so it's like it's not CGI, but it was really cool. I watched Orgasmo, and I probably was just going to skip this one.
Orgasmo!
But speaking of the South Park guys and Ron Jeremy's in this, and it came out 3 years before Toxic Avenger 4, so I would not be surprised if there's some overlap with creative team.
Yeah.
Never seen you do hamster style.
I did notice that they do have Cannibal the Musical on the Troma streaming service, so I'm definitely gonna watch that with the family for sure.
Yeah, I need to watch that.
Yeah, it's fun.
Orgasmo is one of the it's like, I don't want to say it's so good or it's so funny, but it kind of is both of those things.
Yeah.
But it's like their shit is just never going to be as well received as it should because it's just such a niche thing.
Yeah. It's very stupid, but it's very fun.
If you've ever seen basketball, or if you've never seen basketball, you should watch basketball and then realize that Orgasmo was a movie that, like, when it came out, a lot of people were just unable to see it. Like, most theaters wouldn't actually put on NC-17 films, and so which I don't even think it existed. I don't think they even do NC-17 anymore.
No, I think they just do
unrated. Well, that used to be a rating, and that one got it.
Yeah,
and it's like it's you see. If you've seen a handful of NC-17 films, Orgasmo today would not need to be rated NC-17.
Yeah,
I think.
I don't know if it would make it to mainstream theaters though. It's a lot.
No, it'd probably be straight to streaming.
Well, I guess I might have watched the director's cut, so I don't. I guess I can't say how appropriate it was.
Now Matt and Trey, man, they are very good at making very clever, stupid shit.
Yeah.
Like, that is a lot of their early stuff is just very cleverly stupid shit.
The humor is exactly the same as in all their other stuff. Yeah. It's just the dick jokes are like actual dicks, that's the only real change.
I watched another A24 movie I'd never seen, Under the Silver Lake. It's very much like a noir drama thriller mystery, but about a stoner slacker guy in modern times. Thought it was a very well done movie. Because I had the streaming service, I got the 7-day trial of the Fandor streaming service, so we could watch Brain Damage. So I had to make sure to take advantage of that and watch some other stuff that they had on there. So I watched a animated film, just an hour long. I think it's Russian. Adaptation of the Pied Piper story.
Pretty cool.
With the most unique animation style I've seen in a long time. It was mostly stop motion, but a lot of it was like clockwork type machinery, where it was like the figurines sawing a log back and forth type stuff. And then they also had mice, of course, in the story.
Right.
And they both would be they had taxidermied mice that they did for the stop motion, but occasionally it would just be like live mice running on these sets. And it's a silent movie too, besides the music. Like, all of the characters are speaking like kind of gibberish without subtitles. Really, really cool animated movie. I also on that streaming service, and because of what we watched this week, I went ahead and watched Basket Case.
Yeah.
I definitely liked it. It was not nearly as funny, I don't think, as the other one.
I think it wanted to be a little bit more serious, but it's.
And I didn't get to watch them, unfortunately, but apparently I did not realize there's a Basket Case 2 and 3. And the same actors return.
I don't think I've seen those either. I think I've only seen the first Basket Case.
So I definitely want to check those out.
Yeah.
Also on the streaming service, I watched Jesus Christ, Vampire Hunter from 2001. In the exact same genre as the Velocipaster. It would be perfect, double feature with Velocipaster.
Nice.
Does the movie end with him staking himself?
No. He wins. He kills all of the vampires.
All the vampires. Of course.
I feel like that should have been a self-awareness thing where it's I also returned from the dead. I also am a vampire. I must be staked.
What doesn't he doesn't want to fight anybody. He's trying to be a pacifist, and then what finally is like very wholesome. Finally gets him to start fighting is the vampires are targeting the lesbians, and what if they bite them, they stop being lesbians. So he needs to help save the lesbian community. It doesn't say what town it is, but it feels like, some small little California town, and he needs to help the lesbian population of this town by stopping the vampires.
I feel like there's one question that must be answered. Better vampire hunter, Jesus Christ or Abraham Lincoln?
I think Jesus Christ was way more effective.
Okay.
And he didn't get a headshot like a pussy.
Oh, shit.
You heard it here.
I don't know if there's another place to watch this besides the Fandor streaming service, but if not, it's definitely worth the 7-day free trial to watch it.
Nice.
I like how you took advantage of your 7 days.
Oh, yeah. You should.
I watched a bunch of really interesting little animated films, too, on there. And I watched Revolt of the Zombies, which was came out 4 years after White Zombie. So it was one of the earliest zombie movies.
Oh, nice.
Super boring. Super uninteresting. But I watched it.
Yeah, White Zombie is pretty fucking boring, too.
Yeah, because
I watched that one a while ago.
It's very much a different idea of what a zombie is than the modern idea.
Yeah.
The last thing I watched on that streaming service was Faust, a 1994 telling of the story, Goethe's Faust, with it's 50% live action, 40% puppetry, and 10% stop motion. It's insane and almost unfollowable, but I really enjoyed
quite the
it.
experience.
It was a really wild ride.
Nice.
And only it feels a bit longer because of the weirdness of the pace and stuff.
I think I looked at that film and I never got
95
around to
minutes
watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Faust, 1994. I can't pronounce the director's name, but I highly recommend the movie. And that about sums it up.
About does it.
Yeah.
All right.
So now we're to the point where we go over
feature.
these features, and it's a double feature. And John Brown, this is all on you, man. What do you got?
Well,
Tell us about Brain Damage and Forbidden World.
I chose these two movies because I just kind of want to break up the pace of the stuff that we've been watching, and I knew that I've just been chomping at the bit to actually pull the trigger on these things. I mean, I'm definitely the schlock guy. I love fucking nonsensical movies. And these are definitely that. Brain Damage is a slug of unknown origin. I guess they do a pretty good job at telling you the origin. Kind of an ageless.
If you take the guy as correct,
it gives the entire history of the slug.
Well, the known human history of the slug.
Yeah, so whether or not he's
so
right.
So he's a fucking primordial, prehistoric brain slug that somehow sounds like Bing Crosby. Maybe picked that up over the years. I don't know, but
it's definitely a Jim Henson meets Bing Crosby kind of a situation.
It's fun. Slug. So this slug is runs around finding hosts. People find him.
Super charismatic.
Super charismatic. This little fucker cracks me up more every single time I watch it, man. I swear. He's just so much fun. He just steals the show. But yeah, basically, dude gets attached to this slug after it, escapes from the care of a couple of old folk that have been kind of bleeding it dry and trying to bleed it dry and trying to control it. So it frees itself up and basically just makes people trip fucking balls. Gets them addicted to this weird brain juice that it secretes, that it implants directly into their brain. And while they trip balls, it just kind of hitches a ride and eats motherfuckers' brains. And it's just a hell of an experience. I do enjoy the main character too. His portrayal of somebody tripping balls it's pretty fun. I feel like he does a pretty good job.
I think I actually really like the choice in visual effects for the tripping balls. A lot of it's cutouts from the film with inserts and
just light overlays and just real simple stuff.
It's really fun the way that they do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Really simple.
Yeah, he the moment when he realizes that this is happening, he has just... And the little slug dude's name is Aylmer. It sounds like Elmer, but it's actually Aylmer.
Well, he is credited in the credits as Elmer.
Oh, he is? Nice.
Nice.
So
did not notice that.
Yeah, that's fun. But yeah, he and one night tripping balls, Elmer eats the brains out of a chick from the inside, as he is basically kind of presented as a penis. And that's when the main character finally figures out that something's amiss.
Oh, the blowjob scene?
Yeah, the blowjob scene. That's when he finally figures out that
it's
there's something
absolutely
happening.
hilarious.
Yeah.
It's one of the
His
most
blood in his
graphic
underwear.
blowjob scenes I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like,
See, now, if that was in a modern day movie, I don't know if they could if they would. I think that would be like whatever unrated or.
Right,
I don't think they
right.
could do that in an R-rated movie.
Yeah, I mean, it
No.
really did just.
It's
look
literally
like,
like you see
yeah.
the open fly and you see this like slug, so it's gray instead of like flesh colored, but like
Yeah, like purplish.
but like literally you see hands on back of head and like like face stuffed with gray cock.
Yeah.
So
Drippy gray cock.
drippy
too. I
gray
mean,
cock,
very drippy
and
gray
it's
cock.
it's
Yeah.
they don't. I mean, like they don't fuck around.
No, I mean, he is basically, and
Well-
also Elmer's head just like looks like balls too.
Yeah,
I mean, like
it's
it
a
is just.
giant
I'm pretty
ball
sure it
sack.
may have just been a dildo that they put some stuff in.
Yeah.
To
I mean,
make
for
it
that
look
shot,
face on.
the shot where like it's just it looks like she's blowing like a
Yeah.
gray
Oh yeah.
dick.
Yeah. Yeah. For
It,
sure.
it looks like it could like just be a painted dick for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Definitely. But yeah, that after that scene when he finally knows something's amiss, my next favorite part of the movie is the standoff in the hotel. He leaves his normal life behind and tries to gain control of Elmer from the old person's guidance, and like there's this standoff in this fucking shitty dirtbag hotel where he's like, "I'm not gonna let you kill anybody else," and Elmer's like, "Well, you're not getting my juice," and they just have
we'll
this-
see. We'll see.
Yeah, there's a Mexican standoff in this place, and you get a great visualization of this dude going through basically heroin withdrawals from not having Elmer's juice, and it's just it's gross.
Absolutely
The
disgusting.
whole thing is gross the entire time.
Oh my
Just
god.
super fun
Just
dream sequence where he pulls his brain out. Like, that was fantastic. Yeah, this movie is just fucking fun, man.
It's
It's
a
over the
gem,
top.
man.
It's wacky or
It's
shit.
all I can say. Like it's just a gem.
The only thing like criticism there's I guess a couple criticisms I could make, but one, it isn't a criticism. It just kind of makes you want to rewatch the movie again. But like if you go into this movie knowing nothing, first 20 minutes you are confused.
It doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense.
It is just like, what the fuck is happening here? None of this makes sense. But like the portrayal of addiction from these people is all pretty solid. Like all
Yeah.
the characters that deal with them, you get hopelessly heroin meth level addicted to this dude's shit, and they do a good job portraying that. But then the other things, like a lot of the scenes take maybe a little bit too long, but most of the time in a pretty hilarious way.
yeah.
You know, like focusing on some random person in a scene after people have walked off camera, and it's pretty entertaining actually.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, this movie's just a fucking gem, man. I mean,
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was a blast.
yeah.
Hilarious. Like so funny.
I would-
You will laugh. You will like belly laugh for
Oh
sure.
yeah,
when you
no,
watch
all
it.
the time, especially from Elmer, man.
My takeaway, like, I don't think the acting is actually like very good.
No,
really,
it's not
at all.
It's not.
But it's really the Elmer character. Like he kind of like does all the work.
No, he
in this.
does,
Like,
for sure,
Like I mean,
for
it's just
sure.
like it's kind of like, oh, we're getting a puppet show. You know,
Yeah.
with Bing Crosby as the
Yeah.
voice, which is not really Bing Crosby.
No,
but like
It
it might as
he
well be.
just sounds like so
Yeah.
croony.
And like it's and like John has spoke many times about how like this would be a cool one that he wishes they would remake, and I think that would be the tough task is replacing that character.
Yeah,
because
yeah, for sure.
You need to get the aesthetic is ridiculous, and it works because it's ridiculous.
Right.
But then the voice is just like it fits the aesthetic
Yeah,
so
yeah.
well.
No,
Yeah.
you definitely need the voice to really carry it. And so, like, I don't want like a big budget remake. I want like a now B movie budget remake of it, where
Yeah.
it's just, it's exact like.
I still want it to look like a gray turd. Though.
Well, yeah, no, it's got
I do.
to. It's just like it's got to look like a gray turd for sure. But it's just like the scenes where he opens up his mouth and implants the thing, which of course works for what it is.
Yeah,
it's
it's
fine.
the same.
But
like,
I just
like
want to see
clip
this,
from every
yeah,
time it
I want to
happens.
see the effects dialed up, 60%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just want to see the movement a little bit better. Like the only scene that kind of looked bad for what it was the scene on the subway train where he's like Elmer's inside of him and he's trying to like contain him and he keeps popping out and wheeling
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
That was the only scene that really looked bad.
Yeah.
And, like, that's the one that really makes me like, I want to see that remade, you know.
Yeah.
But and like in my mind too, on this last rewatch, like I feel like his kills, because he always like grabs onto the person on their fucking head and like burrows into them to some degree.
They never try to pull him off.
They never try to pull him off, and I think
they like slap him.
Yeah, maybe a couple times, mostly just scream.
I feel like it has something to do with the effects. Like if they actually tried to pull, it would just pull.
Oh fuck yeah!
So like they had no way to like combat that.
No, so my solution as I watch the movie is like, just make him slipperier and fuck. You know, just
lube him up.
Because dude, and he's goopy.
Yeah,
like many scenes, he's goopy. So like, and that would be so fucking funny. Just like somebody running around screaming, slip. So
every death scene just looks like a hand job.
Why not? But like, and then the way he kills too, like since he already looks like a cock, like maybe just make him, just cock somebody to death. Like that would probably make a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
And then eat out of the hole. But yeah,
eat out the hole,
as any man would.
Yeah,
it's like I always say.
If you have not seen this movie, you're gonna end up. Yeah, I don't know. It's not gonna be a lot of people's palate for sure, because a lot of people don't like this kind of over the top B movie stuff, and like they're gonna gripe about the production and the bad effects and yada yada yada. But these kind of movies, man, and this is my favorite part of these movies. You gotta find the charm in them. And kind of hang on to it. Yeah, the actors are fucking trash. They're all none of them are good. I think the main guy's good at just tripping balls at best. Like he delivers that part of it well, but otherwise, they're all like C-level people.
It's just so fun.
The movie
is
so fun
genuine.
as fuck. Yeah, for sure.
It's a good time.
Yeah,
it is.
I actually think that like the second watch is better than the first.
No, it is.
Like,
I
the
think
first one's
so.
hilarious.
Yeah. No, I think it gets better each time, and the fucking Elmer, man, he's just so goddamn charming. Like the movie poster I used for the post I made today is like a pretty good one, where dude's kicking his head back. No, there's another one that is more like there's another one that's more like blue toned, where he looks like it really looks like
a scene from. I know what you're talking about. It's a scene from the movie.
Yeah, I think so. Like he's more like the dude looks very much strung out on heroin.
Yeah,
like, I would imagine somebody on heroin. But Elmer's.
No, actually, when we were watching the movie, because I know exactly what image you're talking about, and I actually remember seeing that scene. Like, oh, that's the image.
Yeah.
From the movie poster.
Yeah, like smoothed out a little bit, I think, for the sake of the poster. Yes.
Yes, and that actually is a screenshot from the movie.
So, but yeah, he's just such an adorable little guy. He's just a fun little brain slug.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and the other one, so this is kind of schlocky horror.
Oh, should we get the letterbox blurbs?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, for Brain Damage, that we are moving on from. 1988, directed by Frank Henenlotter. Brian comes under the addictive spell of a parasite with the ability to induce euphoric hallucinations in its hosts. The tagline is, "It's a headache from hell."
Yeah, that's so bad. That's so bad. Of all the good taglines you could pull from this movie.
Are there good taglines anywhere?
And then we are now moving on to Forbidden World, 1982, directed by Alan Holzman. In the distant future, a Federation marshal arrives at a research lab on a remote planet where a genetic experiment has gotten loose and begins feeding on the dwindling scientific group. And the tagline is, "Part alien, part human, all nightmare."
Yeah, I mean, as far as taglines go, I guess, Can't overdo
it's
much
fine.
better.
It doesn't mention all the tits, but
there's a lot of tits in this movie.
I mean, you know what? It's a fucking Roger Corman, like that's it. So like if you pointed that out, like oh man, all the fucking tits, and you griped about that Asian flick, like okay, yeah, because that's like a really esteemed director, and this is exactly what it is,
that is true.
I'm not calling this apple and orange; it's a fucking apple. Man. I know what
so
this
glad
is.
that he called you out on it.
Oh yeah, no,
because I was thinking, I was like,
yeah,
God damn.
no, for sure. But again,
I should run the numbers because I would guess roughly.
This is a very short movie. This is the shortest movie we've ever done for the podcast.
I would guess roughly 35% of the movie is nudity.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
But I will check.
I love
No,
it.
we
It's
should.
like
Due diligence, man. You ran the numbers last time, so let's run them again.
you know, alien broke loose. Things are bad. I need a steam bath.
Hey, man,
And
okay.
then there's this like conversation. Topless chick getting a steam bath. And
They
like,
were
dude,
being-
like, kind of being creepy.
Yeah.
While actually having a real conversation with her and like, I don't know, man.
They were all
Like,
multitasking, man.
Yeah.
they were multitasking.
They were all multitasking, dude. Like, especially that second shower scene. They just had a literally dissolving man run into them. So, of course, they needed to take a shower. But when you're taking a shower, there's still pressing matters of this alien eating people. So, I mean, you may as well talk about
My
it.
favorite part is that, like, after the, like, initial steam bath scene where, like, the chick has her clothes off, like, she then puts on, like, what looks like a porn star robe, you know? And you're like... That's just her costume for the rest of the film.
A good
Yes.
grip of it.
Yeah, she's just in that for the rest of
Yeah.
the film, unless she takes it off to be naked.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
and she's literally barefoot for like the rest of the
and it
movie.
looks like a B. Like a lot of the scenes kind of remind me of like I would find myself laughing. It's like this kind of looks like a B movie horror set with one porn star.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's just like, is it time? You know, like she just
Yeah.
has it like ready to slip off.
Well,
at
no,
any
it's
time.
hilarious too because the guy is just like, these chicks are just like, fuck me, please, like right now, like let's go, and all the guys are just like so like fucking sad about it. You know?
I mean, these guys have been trying to get laid for months, and
For
this guy
sure.
walks in
Yeah.
day one. Both
Yeah.
of them want to bone him.
So my favorite part of this movie was that we're getting the setup right. Like
Yeah,
they talk about the being. It's like
I think the setup is great.
it's
by the
it's
way.
it's a
Yeah.
it's
I
a,
really
it's a
do.
metamorph that like it's going to constantly evolve forever, so it's going to be constantly changing physical form and ability, and they're doing this in like kind of a laboratory, and this thing is behind glass, and then like the doctor's like, I'm going to leave my second hand here while we go down the hall and discuss some other things. It's like, hey, if this thing changes at all or anything happens, you let me know right away.
Yeah.
You radio me. And like the dude's like radioing him when things start to change, and then he just like flips open a little lid like it's like a deli counter.
Yeah.
Like, and he's just like sticks his head in
Yeah.
too. And it's
Yeah.
just like, whoa, this thing isn't secure at all.
Yeah.
You know, you think about like Alien with the lab when they have it like,
Oh, yeah.
when it, like the first time that it pops out of somebody's stomach, it's like it was at least contained in a
Right.
like airtight.
Well-
There's just like a fucking hinge on the door. Like that thing wasn't contained at all.
Well, there's a different budget here. You got to be a little fair, you know. Like it was contained.
I
So, and this dude is definitely not the doctor's second. This dude is pretty much like the janitor. Like, he's like the young dude janitor boning the chick.
Yeah, I think the janitor is the second in command.
I mean-
this place is not secure.
No. And also it's hilarious too. This kid like just goes for this because, for context, the first thing that you see that this thing did was murder like 30 small animals in this lab. When it was
all in separate cages.
Yeah, in
It
separate
murdered
cages,
all of them.
and it was basically, I mean, when you see it
put him
after
back in the
this,
deli
it
counter,
was
though.
basically like a little fucking, I don't know, lump of just meat.
Yeah.
And so, like, context-wise, this dude's like, okay, this, a lump of meat just murdered all these animals. Let me put my fucking head in a contained glass container for it.
I also
Yeah,
I couldn't get an idea of how big the base was because they were like when they after that initial introduction scene, they're like, we're gonna head back to this room. When I get there, I'll send the girl here to get something
Right.
from you. And then like 15 minutes later, she gets to that guy.
Yeah.
And then she's like,
very hard
okay,
to tell.
I'm going to walk to the captain and tell him something. Okay, 10 minutes later, she's at the captain.
Yeah.
And then something bad happens at the place, and they're there in like 30 seconds.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, so you guys just been dragging your feet back
Yeah.
and forth here?
I mean, they're, they're probably boning.
It's as B movie as it gets for sure.
Yeah, for sure. No, but what I love about why I love this one so much is like it's super fucking B. It's super over the top. It's super silly, but like I really like the backbone of the story and like the backbone of what it is and the meat of the concept. I think is just pretty fucking solid. It's interesting as shit. So the one thing, this monster's not just running around eating people. This is my favorite part of this movie. The monster design is so interesting. I've never seen anything like it in any other shitty horror movie, any good horror movie, any shitty sci-fi, any good sci-fi. I've never seen this movie's concept done before, and that's, I think, one of the biggest reasons why I like it so much. This thing doesn't just eat people. It bites them and then changes their molecular structure to break them down into protein sacs that self-replicate.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
You've never seen that in anything else. And you get to see it in the movie, and it's fucking sweet when you see it. Like,
and I did really like that it gave them a reason why they're not all dead instantly.
Yeah.
It's like,
no,
because
exactly.
it wants to keep us alive.
Yeah, for sure. And which is, it's hilarious because the irony is that that's what they were trying to make, but they made a thing that makes that. And it just so happens that it's using them to do it, you know? But no, yeah, the first sex scene, too, we didn't even mention the fucking awesome space saxophone solo set to this dude.
That was the biggest laugh that I got out of the movie.
Pissed.
Like, I don't know what it was. It's just like, where the fuck did that come from? It made no sense. It was beautifully placed at the same time.
You're a photon? Or just...
Oh, what? Huh?
Ah, okay. I see now.
Sorry, Jonathan Taylor isn't
Shenanigans.
working well.
Yeah.
Shenanigans.
So yeah, no, it's exactly what it is. Like it's goofy, it's over the top, it's a lot. All kinds of boobs. But again, this is a movie that you're gonna go into this like
Bush too, right?
knowing that it's
Oh yeah, there's lots of
boobs,
bush, lots
you
of
know.
lots of
bush.
tits. If you like those
Tits.
things,
No, there's very practical use of time. My favorite part of this movie comes from the second steam bath scene after they these chicks.
There is more than one steam bath.
After these chicks come up with their game plan, they're trying to be practical. And they're like, you know what? We can tell it's intelligent. By now the thing is taking roost in the command center, and so they're like, clearly it's intelligent. It's shutting people. It's controlling us. It's doing all these things. Now maybe we should go have a conversation with it. So then they go have a conversation with it, and only one of them goes in first, and they try to talk to it, and it turns on some music. They're like, oh, okay, it can communicate. And they can tell that it's keyed into the system somehow. So they go up to this computer monitor and type in, oh, we just want to talk to you. Like, can we coexist? And this monster's like, please stand by. And just fucking gradually, fucking shoves out this tentacle and just wham, right up the fucking girl's vagina, splits her in half. Like, let me think about it. No coexist here. Sorry. No, it's. I think it's a lot of fun. The worst part of the movie is the opening sequence, which I did warn. The opening space fight sequence, super bad. I didn't actually on the rewatch. I don't hate the waking up sequence they did with the dude. Yeah. With the flashbacks and stuff like that. Like there were elements of that I did not hate.
I didn't think even the space battle was that bad. It was just completely pointless.
Yeah, no, it was just there. It was fucking there for the sake of it, and it was just kind of a distraction. Had nothing to do with anything. So that's the worst part.
I'm gonna slight disagree. I think the worst part and the biggest distraction was actually the audio quality.
Yeah.
You're getting a lot of spitting.
Yeah,
there's a lot of microphone spit and a lot of lispy S's.
Yeah.
It is. It'll be very noticeable when characters start saying sentences that don't have an S sound in them because you'll be like, oh my god, that didn't sound terrible.
Yeah.
Because anytime anybody uses an S, it's like it's a problem.
No, it's rough. It is not the worst I've heard though. The worst I've heard, bar none, has been the original Toxic Avenger. Yeah. That thing's audio is fucking dog shit. There's not just one problem.
It's an important component,
it's huge. It's huge for sure. Now, I mean, and that's I could dig seeing a lot of these older movies get a little remaster just in those things, you know.
I think unfortunately the sound is harder to remaster.
Oh yeah,
or at least definitely more expensive.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that one could use it. I don't think there's any way to save the Toxic Avengers. Yeah. It's not just one problem in the audio. It's
you'd have to
it's all falling out and coming in and fucked up and
redub
fuzzy.
it.
Yeah, no, you would really basically, which could be hilarious. Honestly, that could be a fun project. But no, these movies, I just want to pick some fun shit to kind of break up some of the stuff we've been doing.
The drama.
Yeah, for sure. And it's these movies are both pretty fun. If you do watch Forbidden World, skip to the title. That's my
But
recommendation there.
it's so funny because the movie is roughly an hour and 15 minutes long. And there's the battle at the beginning, which is completely pointless. And then there's a montage flash forward of things that will happen. And then at the end, there's a montage flash backward of everything that has happened.
No, I so we haven't.
I think they roughly had a 60-minute movie. Like, oh shit, what do we do?
Reuse some of the same footage.
No, I do. We haven't talked about the conclusion, and that's one of my other favorite parts of the movie is the conclusion to it. So there's a doctor that obviously is dying the entire time.
Yeah.
It's like if there was a fucking advertisement for why smoking is bad, here he is. You know, and he's smoking the whole fucking time, just like a fucking chimney. And so he figures out that if he can take his obviously cancerous cells, and put it into this thing, then it would kill it. And so he tries to get smart and get the thing to bite him, but the thing's too smart for that, as previously established with this great scene where it tricks this dumb broad into fucking thinking she can communicate. And so he's like, okay, superhero man, you're going to have to cut my fucking cancerous organ out of me and feed it to this monster. And so I love that. Yeah. I love the whole bit at the end. You don't quite see that anywhere else either. No. And it's just a nice, fun, wacky.
And it doesn't really matter if the science checks out, because I'm sure it doesn't. But like the feeling definitely works. It's like, I feel like that's a way to defeat this perfect.
Sure. I mean, hey, if we got modern movies like Twister saying that shit from a diaper is just gonna dissipate a storm.
But that's a documentary, so I believe it.
Yeah. Now, if you want to watch some fun movies, I think these are both really fun movies for what they are. They are exactly what they are. They're not
super fun.
Yeah. They're just wacky bullshit.
I think
that's a good
Brain Damage is definitely more successful at what it's trying to do, but Forbidden World has a ton of fun ideas and things happening.
There's cool stuff there. So if you're a fan of these kinds of franchises and fans of B movies, you should definitely check these out.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. That's going to do it for the features, I believe.
Yeah.
Unless we have any other thoughts.
No, just if you like B movies, watch them.
Yeah.
They're both worthwhile.
Watch.
I was going to say Basket Case is super so there's a newer movie, I think it came out mid-COVID, called Malignant.
Okay,
and it's basically like a modern AAA budget retelling of the Basket Case story.
Yeah,
but it's
more, I think I missed that one, so I need to watch that.
I've seen that, but I never really knew what it was. So
yeah, I think if you go into it thinking like this is the same kind of vibe and like campiness of that, it's not as serious as it seems it's taking itself.
Sure.
It's just it's the mode of the story. Right. It's very fun. I highly recommend that movie.
Yeah, but anyway, for anybody listening, again, the features today were Brain Damage and Forbidden World. If you're into B movies, or if you're not, at least give Brain Damage a try, because it is a fucking gem.
It's
you
also
will have fun. And Forbidden World, also kind of a little hidden gem in and of itself.
Yes,
yeah. Frank Henenlotter also is the director of Frankenhooker.
Yes.
So
we'll have to complete that trilogy.
Yeah, that's going to have to happen.
Did you guys have both seen Basket Case? Or just you?
I have.
I'm pretty sure I have seen Basket Case. I think I might have seen one of the sequels, but I have no memory of it. A rewatch would be I don't know, maybe
it's another short.
I knew that I had seen Return of the Living Dead, but it had been 30 years, I rewatched it. Remembering nothing about it, but as soon as I rewatched it, every single scene,
it was like they were just the last dragon for me.
It just all falls into place. It's oh fuck, I've seen this.
Yeah.
All right, so on to what's to watch in the theaters.
What is playing in theaters?
I want to go, so hopefully there's something.
Yeah,
good.
I'm itching. So
I kind of just go watch Romulus again.
It's still in Warsaw. I thought it wasn't there because they're using the really dark poster instead of the bright.
Let's skip the Christian movies. We don't need to hear about that.
There are.
I was when I was looking for times for Romulus, I did see an Indian movie that I was like, man, I kind of want to go fucking watch that.
Yeah,
there was one. I was
it's called The Greatest of All Time.
Really cool.
Tamil. It looks fun. That is playing. It's 3 hours long. Heads up.
Sweet Jesus. Probably a good amount of singing and dancing, too.
Maybe, yeah.
They tend to sneak it in.
Does Reagan count as one of the Christian movies?
Yeah.
No. But
That is playing. Dennis Quaid's is Reagan. Oof.
Yeah.
you should have got Randy Quaid. It would have been a better movie.
That would have been funny. Yes, there are 2 Christian movies. Moving on. There is the returning hits are Twisters, Despicable Me 4.
Ooh.
That's insane. It's been in theaters for like 3 months.
God.
Inside Out 2. It Ends With Us. Alien Romulus.
Yeah.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Man.
And then new last week were Reagan, The Greatest of All Time, and the new horror movie. That's 2 separate movies, by the way.
Okay. I mean, it sounds like it could have just been the same.
Yeah. I'm surprised that is not the subtitle to Reagan. The new horror movie looks pretty dumb called Afraid.
Yeah,
but it's AI. Afraid AI.
Yeah, there's just no.
It looks. The trailers literally look like they were written by AI.
Yeah,
and maybe they did.
I mean, it probably was.
Full, immersion. The new stuff. 2 movies I'm hopefully gonna see. Beetlejuice.
Yeah, that is on the docket for sure.
Honestly, looks fun. I'm gonna give it a shot.
I can't imagine they'd fuck that up.
If Tim Burton disappoints me, this is like the last straw.
Does that start Friday?
This comes out Friday. Well, I mean tomorrow.
So we get a late night, like a midnight, or
no? I mean, it's just normal show times. They just
so it comes out on a Thursday.
Yeah, most movies come out on Thursdays now.
Okay,
the showings are in Warsaw.
I remember the guy who was like, starts Friday.
Yeah. 4:40 and 7:20 are the showings tomorrow.
Okay.
And then the last thing I'm most looking forward to, a new A24 thriller called The Front Room. It's had not heard about this, so they dropped the trailer like a month ago. Just looks like a really interesting kind of horror thriller. Starring Brandy. So very, very much looking forward to that. The singer Brandy. Yeah.
All right, I have nothing to say about that.
Yeah, no, I remember Brandy. I haven't seen her in like 20 years. So.
Yeah. But I haven't
heard anything about that person in a long time. It's like Ally McBeal type shit. Like, what happened to that?
We're doing the music thing to be in movies, and like that was like 20 years ago. Yeah, here we are.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I haven't heard any reviews, but
all right.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, some stuff to see.
There we go.
And a lot of stuff to skip.
You should see Romulus for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Romulus was fantastic. Yeah. We already covered it, but it was fucking fantastic.
All right. Beat this to death.
So now we talk about next episode, and I have to make the picks, and I wasn't really 100% prepared. I didn't know exactly what I was going to pick, but I'm just going to go with my gut here.
Let's do it.
I've had this idea for a minute. I want to kind of cover some types of movies that we haven't really covered since the inception of the podcast. We're going to hit some different things. So I'm doing a double feature. I think one movie, I looked it up. I think one movie was like an hour and 40 minutes, and the other was like similar, or maybe a little shorter. So cool. It's gonna be a long night for the way that we do this, but it's not gonna be the worst ever. So I'm doing my favorite documentary, which is American Movie. It's a movie about a amateur film director trying to live his dream, and it's just a really fucking fantastic film that I think everybody should see that appreciates film.
Right on.
Cool.
And because I don't want to make it like a whole bummer where we just get together, drink beers, and watch a documentary, I wanted to do something fun to follow it up. So we're going to do my favorite mockumentary, which is called Best in Show. And it's a Christopher Guest movie. He's done a lot. Like, it's actually, he's kind of created this genre of mockumentary where it's more comedy than like mockumentary, but all of his films kind of have the same aesthetic. He's got a very like Wes Anderson vibe to him.
Right.
He's got like a cast that he keeps returning to.
Yeah. But anyway, this is my favorite. I know it's not everybody's favorite film of his, but it's my personal favorite. And so I'm giving you my favorite documentary and my favorite mockumentary, and I think
Sweet.
it's going to be a good night.
Yeah,
We're
that sounds
going to
fun.
laugh a lot during both films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sweet. Good picks.
Looks like I think Best in Show is streaming on Amazon, and American Movie is definitely streaming on Amazon. It's also on Roku channel, Tubi, and that is all available to buy.
All right.
Cool.
Here we go. Well, thanks for tuning in and thanks for listening, and check back with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Peace out.
Bye.